about time management. And the question said, I know you say you stay up late to do stuff. Do you also get up early? And if you do, what time? And also, do you allow yourself days when you don't do anything? You just give yourself a pass. So there's a complexity to the question, and I'll answer it as best I can. In today, not today. Okay, let me see. I'm a morning person by nature, so I do my best work when I start 6:30, 7-ish in the morning. But my body only allows me to sleep. Hey, ma'am, how are you from Oklahoma? My body only allows me to sleep about 5 to 6 hours. So no matter what time I go to bed, in 5.5 to 6 hours, hey, ma'am, from that time, I'm up. I'm going to be awake. Either my mind is going and I'm going over my list of things. I may get out of the bed if the light is good enough, 5:36. If it's that time, I'll get up. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. If for some reason I have somewhere to go, my body is up. So I am high productivity in the morning. First thing in the morning, I have a list of things that need to be done. I've written it all down. I am on my way to checking off my list. Now, I have to force myself to stay up in the evening because about 5 or 6 o'clock p.m., I'm starting to shut down. Just naturally, I think this has happened to me as I've gotten older. I am 46. I'll be 47 on my birthday. Once we start getting towards 5:36, 7 o'clock, I'm pretty much shutting it down. But I've learned how to, thank you so much, I have learned how to manage. So right now I'm doing this live in my car. Alana is getting her allergy shots. She's 18 years old. She can go in, sign herself in to get her own shot. She does not need mom. So I knew that I needed to do this video because when I get home, I have to edit 3 videos. Here's why. We got a phone call yesterday, we got a text message yesterday that one of the ladies in our church who had been ill passed. And so we knew that meant those of us, especially leadership, we're going to have to start jumping in to start helping do stuff. She was in her late 60s. Her husband's in his 80s. He had been taking care of her. So a lot to be done within the house and arrangements and all those types of things. So another text message came through. Can anybody go pick up their daughter from the airport, which was about an hour and a little bit away from where I live, probably about an hour and a half from where I live. I'm off. School's out. Sure, I'll be happy to go and pick her up if nobody else volunteers. Well, Alana had to go back to work today. We've been on vacation for a couple of days. She has to be at work by 7. I try to get her there by 6:30, 6:45. So it is now 3:19 Eastern, and I have not been in my house all day long. I left this morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, and I'm still out. In that time, I had to do some things. I was supposed to have a meeting at 10:30. I pushed my meeting to 8:30. So I'm going to be on your side of town. Is it possible for us to meet early, or are you able to meet me later or the next day? Because now I have to rearrange my entire schedule to make sure that I fit everything in that I need to fit in. So the text message came back, sure, we can do 8:30. So I went from 8:30 to 10 a.m. I packed my bag. It's in behind my seat. I packed my bag, and I dropped her off. I went to get gas because now I've got to prioritize gas because I have to drive an hour and a half one way to the airport. I have to drive an hour and a half back to her dad's house, and then I have to drive myself another 40 minutes back to where I should be anyway. Hey, ma'am. So I dropped Alana off. I sat in my car outside of her work for about 30 to 45 minutes editing a reel because a reel has to go up. It's not gone up yet because I still have to do the voiceover with traffic and everything that's going on. I don't want that caught in the voiceover. So it's edited, and it's just ready for the voiceover. Then I left there, stopped to get gas, Ended up at my friend's house because we were doing a meeting. We did our meeting. I did a quick walkthrough of her property, gave her some thoughts on how she could, work her business. We then stepped back into her house, and I did a FaceTime with her daughter, giving her some thoughts and some creative ideas for how she could work her business. Got in my car at 10 o'clock, headed to the airport at 11:30, picked up. We were probably leaving the airport about noon. I got her to her dad's house right around 1. Then I said, okay, I've got about an hour and a half before I need to get Alana from work because I'm not going all the way back home. And I need to do some YouTube content, some real stuff. So I'm going to head over to Goodwill. So I took myself to Goodwill. And then when I took myself to Goodwill, I timed myself. I said, you got 45 minutes in here. You can't be in here any longer than that because you got to get back across town to pick up Alana. And so then I picked up Alana and remembered, she has to have allergy shots because she's off her time schedule. So now she has to get shots this week, even though she got shots last week. And I'm in here filming with you. I've already called Jackson. Jackson has pulled out dinner. He's already pulled out a ham that I already had in my fridge. He's going to do a pot of rice and a pot of beans, and that's going to be dinner for when I get home because I still have to edit 3 videos. I've got to get a reel up and probably do a couple more reels. And when I was sitting there doing the meeting with my friend, I was thinking in my mind, you need to have your camera set up so that you can catch all this good information so you can turn that into reels. I didn't have my tripod, so I didn't do it. But my mind is always thinking, how many more things can I get done at one time? Now, I think, and I want to be real cautious and careful when I say this because I don't want to say anything that's harmful. I think that there could be a little bit of ADD. Maybe I probably got ADHD, child. I don't have time to sit down. My body's always going. My mind is always going. My body's always going. And I'm like, okay, got to get it done. What's next? I don't have an off switch. And I'm very careful to label myself with anything because I believe that Jesus can heal all things, right? But my grandparents were very much workaholics. They worked. My grandmother worked. My grandfather worked. And that's just how I was raised. You work. And you work yourself sometimes until you are sheer exhausted. So today is Thursday. On Tuesday, what was Tuesday? Yes, on Tuesday we hosted Friendsgiving because that was the day after Christmas. We hosted Christmas brunch the day after Christmas. I'd been up about 5:30, grabbed my shower, got myself dressed. I had food going about 6 o'clock, and I did not sit down again until about 8 p.m. And about 8:30 or 9 o'clock, I forced myself off the couch. I said, y'all, I can do nothing else. I must go to bed. And they're like, oh, Mom, don't go. We're going to do games. We're going to have fun. My body was done. I was shut down. I couldn't move. My joints were stiff. My bones were hurting. And I had to sleep it off for the next 6 hours. After 6 hours, the next morning, about 4:30 or 5, I was up. I was ready to go to do the next set of things. So because my body and my mental capacity is such that work is important, I work. And I'm a high producer. If I worked a production job, yes, it has to be for real. But I do not have an off switch. I wish I did, but I don't. And I think one of the things that can be harmful or detrimental is that people would judge themselves against other people. I am what's called a driver. I am let's go all the time. I'm on or off. That's it. There's no gray area, no in between. And especially when I'm sitting in my house, there are baseboards to be done. There's doors to be washed. There's dust to be dusted. There's floors to be swept. There's dogs to be. I got a ton of things. There's never a day when there aren't things to be done. Now let me say this because I want to clear this up for people as well. My children are grown. 32, 26, 18, and 13. The only one who is not grown is Jackson, but they are fully capable to help me. So even though my mind has poured out all of these things, I'm able to get things done because I have 2 extra sets of hands that can help me. Now, they can't help in the business. They can't help with one mom. I have to do most of that. but they do help film or, reels and stuff when I need somebody to help to film. But this is all my creative space. But my household, they can do laundry, they can fold clothes, they can do floors, they can do all of those types of things. So that frees me up. I don't have little kids. So when you have little kids, your time can be a little bit more challenged because they have all of these needs that you have to. I do. Yes, ma'am, I do. That's a whole nother story and a can of worms, but I do have a 32-year-old. She's amazing. God has blessed us. For those of you who do not know, I was abused as a child, and I became pregnant at the age of 13. I decided to choose life, even though I didn't know what I was doing with my child, and I had her. And through a series of the last 32 years, she has not only graduated high school, she was summa cum laude in her undergrad graduation. She's been to her master's program, and she is now a second-year doctoral student at the University of Stanford. So all of that and I'm 46 years old. So, yes, I do have a 32-year-old, and we love her. She's great. She's awesome. But I don't have little people. I missed some comments. Let me see. Yeah. I don't, it could be that. I don't feel anxious. I never have that anxious feeling. It's just my grandparents worked. I grew up with older grandparents. When I went to live with my grandparents, they were 55. Oh, bless you, bless you. He is amazing. I love God. God helps me do all the things. My grandmother was 60 when I went to live with her. My grandfather was 55. They didn't have off switches. It was always something to do. It was always something to be done on the farm. There was always something to be done in the yard. There was always something to be, it's all good. There was always something to be done, helping out a neighbor or what have you. They never were idle. If the yard work was done, then we went to do something for the animals. If the animal work was done, we were shucking corn. If the corn was shucked, then we were doing something in the garden. There was always something. And I think out of all of the kids that my grandparents raised, 15 of their own and 5 grandchildren, of which I was one of the grandgirls that they raised, it was just something that we did. From the time you woke to the time you went to bed, you were always constantly working. And so that has benefited me because I am able to, it's just what I know. I don't know anything different. And then when I became a single mom and I was trying to grab onto some additional income, and this was what the Lord gave me, this platform, I had to work it constantly because nobody in my sphere of influence, nobody in my area thought that social media was a job. So I worked, and 8 years later, here I am. Hey, ma'am. Hey, everybody. 8 years later, here we are with with the community that we have, but it's because I'm working. I'm always working. And then the other thing that I tell people, which again, you have to know your situation. I don't have a husband. If I had a husband, y'all, when I get a husband, I hope y'all get some videos. I hope I pre-plan a whole lot because I'm going to be MIA for a minute. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be out. I'm going to be deuces. Y'all not going to see Shakema because I have waited and desired for my spouse, and God has not sent him yet. So in this single season, I need to be as productive as I can because I already know that the needs of my husband will have to be met when the Lord sends him. That is what I believe biblically correct, that I need to meet his needs, and we need to family. We need time to grow together. Okay, gone. Look, if they looking for me, if you just tell them she gone, she ain't here for a minute. Come back in about 30 days. I'm going to be gone. But again, I believe that I am supposed to be doing now what I am able to do. That is not, my attention is not being pulled here. And again, I don't have little children. So I am able to fully do and function any type of way that I need to because it's just me. I don't have nobody to answer to. I don't have nobody to tell me about my money. I can go and do whatever I want to do. And my kids, God bless me with the best kids. because, of course, we're a divorced family, and that divorce was hard on us. But I sat down with my children. I prayed, and I sat down with my children. I said, listen, Mom needs your help. Now, again, some people are very objecting to telling kids grown folk business. They didn't know all the details. They just knew that Dad was going to be living somewhere different, and we needed to function as a family. And family's family. We all work together. We all help each other. If there's a chore to be done, we jump in. If I'm done with my chore, I come and check to see if you need help with your chores. So that's how we become a very high-functioning family. Now, do I give myself passes? Absolutely. She has a story to tell, and she will when she's ready. We both will tell that story together because it's not just mine, it's our story. And God has really blessed us. If you just knew the situation, you would be like, oh, my word. I'm only telling you little bits and pieces of it. But there's so much more to it. But what I was going to say was, when you have little people, your life is so much different than when you have adult kids or bigger kids, even kids that can help. Because I get a lot of flack sometimes, and people will say, absolutely. I have been so wanting to buy one, but then I thought, dog, I know it's like, you have a Mormon one. Like, I'm like all into whatever. But I'm like, oh, my God, I would love it, love it, love it. And I just didn't do it. And I was like, okay. Waited till now to call me. I have to call her later. But, that would be such a blessing, such a huge, huge blessing. My P.O. box is down in the description box. If anybody wants to type that in, y'all are more than welcome. I'm scared to touch anything because I'll be able to mess something up. But we are just a very high-functioning family because I believe that's God's plan for us, right? There are families who are literally watching our lives. See, this part makes me kind of get emotional because there are people who say to me, Shakema, I've learned so much from you. But if people are learning so much from me, then I must continue to teach the things. I must continue to say, hey, no matter what you're going through, you can do this. You can pull yourself through. Do I give myself days off? I do. Usually, if I have a big break, like we've just been on break for the past 10 days, I think, because we're on winter break. My very first day, I'm like, okay, I'm going to get all the things done. And normally the first and second day after break, I just don't do anything because I work full-time, 40 hours a week on a job. I am a full-time minister. I have 2 ladies groups that I manage twice a week, Monday nights and Saturday mornings. And we have a group on Sunday nights. So that's 3 groups, and I don't get paid for any of that. Then I have YouTube and then Facebook and now Instagram, right? So I have almost 40,000 on YouTube. Praise God. Thank you so much if you're one of the 40,000. We just so appreciate you. We now are over 67,000 followers on Facebook. Can you just give the Lord a hand clap of praise? Can you just give the Lord a hand clap of praise? Because God has done that whole thing. I couldn't even tell you how that happened. I know 2 days ago we gained 5,000 followers. Where are these people coming from? Not that I'm complaining, but I just didn't know that there was that volume of people out there, and there are. And God is giving us our little piece. So there are people who say, Shakema, we're following your family. So then I feel like I need to be very productive to be able to do stuff. And Shelly, you're saying something extremely important here, because as I have aged, my body has slowed down. I used to be able to go from 6 in the morning till midnight straight with no breaks. I might cook dinner and make sure my kids are eating. Then I go right into, let me edit for the vlog, or let me do this. Now, from about 6 to about 6, 7, 8 is my max usually. I'm done, and my body hurts. I'm tired. My bones, my joints. I've gone into this perimenopause thing that is really challenging my spirit because I cannot lose weight. Like, I look at Kimmy, and every time I see her, I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks amazing. And I'm like, how did she do it? It's not my business how she did it. I'm just going to keep working on me over here, right? I just got to figure out my stuff, because it doesn't matter what I do. I'm intermittent fasting, I'm still fat. I don't eat this, I'm still fat. I eat keto, still fat. So you just like, okay, you got to work it out for you. But my body is rebelling against me. It doesn't want me to do all the things that I need to do, but I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So I am thankful that I still have the activity of my limbs. I am thankful that my mind still works. And I'm also thankful. Child, listen, I probably need some myself. My daughter keeps like, Mom, we need to go to therapy. Let's go to therapy. I'm like, I'm not going to therapy. I probably need to go. But then I'm thankful that on the days when my body does hurt, my kids are able, right? And they jump in. My children have never, ever, ever told me no. They have never said, Mom, I'm not helping. They've never given me backlash. Never. And I prayed over them kids. When their daddy left and I knew we were in a situation, I said, God, I need your help here. And he has blessed me through my children. They honor me. When you look in Proverbs 31:10 through 31, that makes me emotional. My kids honor me. Whatever I want, my kids are ride or die. They are ride or die. And I think a lot of that could be so much of it, right? Like I need to I feel like I'm inflamed. I'm inflamed and the flame will not leave. But God has a plan, and I'm going to get my life back together because I was doing so well, and here I am now. It's just, I think it's an attack of the enemy on my body and my mind. But I will not be thwarted. My son just got a whole exercise bench in the gym. We're putting together a whole exercise workout room in the gym. I'm going to film that for you guys. And we're just going to work. And again, now how do you add in exercise? You work full-time, you preach you pastor full-time, you doing YouTube full-time, you on Facebook full-time. When do you ever work out? Well, I have to steal 30 minutes somewhere. I've got to be able to find it. And so then I just look at my schedule. If I'm waking up at 5:30, then I need to get up. And I get 30 minutes in before I need to grab my shower and take I think so too. And I respect people that, you know what, this is personal and it's private. It's not a secret, but it's private. There's another lady that I follow, and I'm not going to name her name on here, but she didn't share a lot of her pregnancy with everybody, and I really want to comment on one of her videos. I'm so proud of you because the pressure of sharing everything when you're on social media, she shared what she wanted, and I appreciated that little bit of a glimpse she gave us into that, but that wasn't her channel. She was doing something totally different, and I'm so proud of her for not caving under the pressure of doing what other people wanted you to do. So again, that's amazing. There are certain things that I'm going to be backing up off of in 23 because it's private, not because it's a secret. I've never had secrets on here. I've told y'all the nitty-gritty and the good, bad, ugly, and all of it. But I am going to have some privacy. There are certain things that I need to keep to myself about me or about my children, just depending. My son, I don't share terribly a lot about my older son. He does not wish to be social media-ness. So I have to respect that. My other 3 kids, they really don't care. My daughter is dating a gentleman, and before they came from California this past week, she was like, Mom, he's coming, but he's not going to be on social media. When he got, he was like, I don't care. I'll be on your social media. And somebody's like, I know him. Oh, my God, I'm from California, too. So, I have to be careful now that my children are older and respect their privacy. And so where people expect my life to be one thing or my channel to be one thing, it's still going to be the main of what I do, but there will be some private moments that are just not to be shared right now, and that's perfectly fine. Listen, I'm here for I am here for, I think that's what I do. Right, just overshare a ton. And then when you get in that pattern, it's very hard to get out of that. But I'm here for all the meals. I'm here for all the preps. I'm here for all that. Just keep doing all that. I'm here for every video. Click. She's in her apron. Yep, and so am I. Let me click, see what she got going on. I love it. But back to the time, it is about prioritizing what are the top 3 things that you need to get done today. I have 10 things. but you may only have the capacity for 3. Do those and do those well. We don't want to start doing 15 things and we just doing something half job, right? I tell my kids, never leave a job half done. Do what you can, these 3 things to completion, and then pick up the rest. Tomorrow is another day. Or I'm really not monopolizing my time or utilizing my time well. If I have enough time to watch 3 30-minute shows, I can bring the exercise bike in front of the TV and ride at least during one of them. So if I need to fit my exercise in, I can sit in my chair and do my curls. I can do any type of arm exercises sitting in my chair. I don't have to be up. I don't have to be in the gym, but I have to learn how to maximize the time. I'm a queen of multitask. I've got a bag full of stuff in the trunk because I'm getting ready to do a closet project. You're going to see that. There's a closet project happening. But as I've gained weight, I'm squeezing myself into sizes that I'm not going to hurt. I'm not going to be hurting. I'm not going to be over here trying to undo my pants under my desk, hoping that I can breathe. I'm just going to buy a bigger size, and it'll be fine. So I went and did that, thinking when I get home, I've got to edit. We just published my first book. I have books 2 and 3. I've got to edit that. We're going into a 75 medium, so that's going to be my 10 pages per day to get that done. It bothers me personally because I was in such a good rhythm and a good pattern where I had really lost a ton of weight. And I'm not discouraged or downhearted about it. It mentally bothers me. And so I think what I'm going to do is I've got to now prioritize that, right? It has to be important, and I can't make excuses anymore. And again, that goes back to time. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody. So anyway, I hope that kind of helps with, and I think you got to give yourself grace to know where you are in this season. I was just listening to a bishop that I listen to quite often, and he says, some of y'all out here chasing the bag, and you got little kids. He said you need to put that on the table for right now, raise your kids, prioritize your family. And that has been huge for me. YouTube and social media has allowed me to bring my kids along because I was thinking, we've been on here 8 years. You guys have watched Jackson grow up. Y'all have watched Jackson grow up. Y'all have heard the changes in his voice. Jackson used to be like, good morning, Mom. Now he's like, ma'am. Y'all have seen my kids grow. So that was helpful. But some people 100% are prioritizing other stuff versus your family, and your family will suffer. Trust me, I know. I have been on the other side of it. So, oh, hey, ma'am. Hey, Miss Melissa, good to see you. I'm glad you did as well. I'm just trying to answer some questions. There was a question about that time management. Time is the only thing that you may be able to control some of it, but you can't get it back. So I don't waste it. I don't waste my time. My sister was telling me the other day, because we were planning a girls trip with one of our best friends, and she's like, but you can't never be off because you got this meeting and that meeting and this meeting. And I said, sure I do, but I will, cancel those meetings if I know we're going. If I don't know we're going, I'm not canceling my meetings because I have things to do. So I prioritize my meetings, but if I am sure we're doing something, then I will work around it. I even work around, hey, y'all, yay, I'm glad you're here. I work around a lot of stuff, right? I can work around what time you need me to be somewhere. Okay, 11:05. My meeting is usually at 10:30. Can we end at 10 today, ladies? I'm still meeting. I'm still having a meeting. And then I'm going to be done half an hour early. Or on Friendsgiving, I was trying to get to the kitchen to get my stuff started because the meeting was running over. We're usually done by 10:30. This meeting was going to 11:30. And one of my ladies texted me. She said, Shakema, I know you got stuff to do. I'll handle finishing up the meeting. You go to the kitchen. And I said, y'all, I'm going to have to bow out of the meeting. But one of my ladies, Olivia, is going to take over for me. So you train people to be you when you can't be you. My kids, Alana, let me tell you something. Alana might be the handy-dandy dishwasher, but she can put together anything I can put together. I've trained her to be me when I cannot be there. You're never going to come to my house and not be offered hospitality, because my children know exactly what to do. So I do it, but I also train my children to represent when I am unable. Alana is done with her allergy shots, so we're going to chime out. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Share it if you feel like it's helpful to somebody else. We love you guys so much, and we will see you next time. Bye now.